On a freezing night in June of 1962, three men slipped out of America's most secure prison and were never seen again. Alcatraz was designed to be escape-proof, surrounded by icy, fast-moving waters, patrolled constantly, and isolated from the mainland. It was the prison the government sent inmates it believed could never be controlled anywhere else. Officials didn't just think escapes were unlikely. They believed they were impossible. But Morris and the Anglin brothers had other plans. Frank Morris arrived at Alcatraz in 1960. He was small, quiet, and unnervingly intelligent. His IQ tested well above average, and he'd already escaped from multiple prisons before being sent to the Rock. Guards viewed him as a problem inmate, but they underestimated just how dangerous patience and intelligence could be when combined. Soon after arriving, Morris befriended brothers John and Clarence Anglin, bank robbers who had grown up swimming in the cold rivers of Michigan. The three men were housed in adjacent cells, and over time they discovered a flaw in the prison that no one expected inmates to exploit: the walls. Decades of salty air had slowly eroded the concrete around the air vents at the back of each cell. With nothing more than stolen spoons from the cafeteria, sharpened and strengthened using a makeshift drill powered by a vacuum cleaner motor, the men began digging. Every night, while music hour played loudly throughout the prison, they chipped away at the weakened concrete, hiding the debris in their pockets and sprinkling it discreetly around the yard during the day. The holes led to an unused service corridor behind the cells, a blind spot guards never checked. But escaping the cell block was only the first challenge. Guards performed flashlight checks every night, scanning cells for movement. To fool them, Morris and the Anglins crafted dummy heads using soap, toilet paper, toothpaste, and real human hair collected from the prison barbershop. Painted carefully, the fake heads were placed under blankets to look like sleeping inmates. The illusion worked. Next came the water. San Francisco Bay was deadly, temperatures often below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, strong currents and sharp rocks lining the shore. The official belief was simple: no one could survive the swim, so the men didn't plan to swim. Over months, they stole more than 50 raincoats and stitched them together into a makeshift inflatable raft using heat from steam pipes. They even built a small concertina-style bellows to inflate it. Everything was hidden above the cells, in the utility space no one monitored. On the night of June 11, 1962, everything was ready. Just after lights out, Morris and the Anglin brothers placed the dummy heads in their beds, slipped through the vent holes, climbed up a ventilation pipe, and emerged onto the prison roof. From there, they slid down a kitchen vent pipe, scaled a fence, and reached the shoreline. At approximately 11:30 p.m., they inflated the raft and pushed off into the darkness, heading toward Angel Island. They were never seen again. The next morning, guards discovered the escape. Alcatraz went into lockdown. A massive search began involving the FBI, Coast Guard, and local police. Debris believed to be from the raft was found floating in the bay. A paddle fragment washed ashore. Days later, a piece of rubber was discovered on Angel Island. No bodies were ever recovered. In 1979, after a 17-year investigation, the FBI officially concluded that Morris and the Anglin brothers drowned in the bay. Their reasoning was based on water temperature, current patterns, and the absence of confirmed sightings. But the case refused to die. The Anglin family claimed they received Christmas cards signed by John and Clarence for years after the escape. In 1975, a family friend said he met the brothers in Brazil. Photographs later surfaced allegedly showing two men resembling the Anglins on a Brazilian farm. Even more unsettling, Frank Morris's mother reportedly received flowers every Mother's Day until her death. No return address. In 2013, the U.S. Marshals revealed they were reopening the case after receiving a letter allegedly written by Frank Morris. The letter claimed he survived the escape, lived in Mexico, and was dying of cancer. The government never verified the letter. Alcatraz closed just 1 year after the escape in 1963. Officials cited high operating costs, but many believed the escape shattered the prison's reputation. The Rock was no longer unbeatable. To this day, the question remains unanswered. Did Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers die in the icy waters of San Francisco Bay? Or did they pull off the greatest prison escape in American history, vanishing into the world while the guards slept just feet away?